Hello and welcome to StroongeCast episode 79.
Don't leave.
Very quietly. I will not leave. At least, not yet. Okay. What on earth has happened this week?
Well, we celebrated Mother's Day last weekend.
Oh yeah. Hey, that was already Sunday. I'd totally
I
forgotten
know.
about that.
Yeah, so that was really nice. You, like last year, surprised me with flowers,
Ah yeah.
which was super nice. And you did that usual thing of trying to get me to find them on my own. So,
Didn't do it, did you?
because I wasn't expecting anything. And so I just popped in and I was getting the dog and then taking the dog out. So I was kind of like in and out and I didn't go into the kitchen, and that's where you'd left it. And there was something else on the kitchen side as well, kind of half obscuring it.
Yeah.
The basket.
It was a bit hidden.
Yeah. So I didn't notice anything. And then as I was about to leave, you were saying, "Oh, I think I might have a mugshot. What, can you help me find your mug, my mug?" Because you have one particular one that you really like. And I was like, well, I'm sure it's in there. I did the dishwasher. Like, I'm sure it's in there. Can't you just go find it? And if you can't, there's a whole cupboard full of mugs. Like, it's fine. Because I was just like a bit annoyed. Why do I have to come and help you find your mug? Like, you know where the mugs are. It's fine. And you're like, yeah, but can you just come and help? And I was like, I have to go. Anyway, then obviously went into the kitchen and realised that it was because there was a beautiful bunch of flowers and some Ferrero Rocher chocolates.
Yeah, I forgot
that
about
had
those.
been delivered. So
I've only had one of those so far.
yeah, but that annoyed the kids because they both had plans on the day,
Yeah.
which is absolutely fine. I'm more than happy that they were out because we wouldn't have done anything differently anyway. I just had, housey stuff to do anyway.
Yeah.
But they'd wanted to, whilst they were out, order and have flowers delivered to me.
Oh no.
And you got there first.
I broke it.
And so they were a bit disappointed, I think. So I said, okay, well, in the future, you need to communicate with Daddy, like talk to Daddy. But they just hadn't even thought that was something that you would, even though you did do it last Mother's Day, but maybe they didn't remember that.
And I think last year it came as a shopping was coming or something.
It was, we were going out.
You were going out, that's what it was.
I don't know if we were going for a walk or we were doing something, and they literally arrived as we were about to leave.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Alice she was going shopping with her friend. That was like her whole day. And she came back with this really cute, from both her and Jake, little like gift basket with really nice hotel chocolat and some
nice scents.
Yeah, like body spray things from Bath and Body Works that we really like, and some little sweets, and this like it almost looks like a large glass, like large tumbler glass. There's like a little mini vase with, they're fake tulips, but they look so real.
Yeah.
And they're so cute. And so we've got that on the middle of the dining table and it looks so nice. And even Jake came home and was like, oh, when are they going to bloom? Like, when are they going to open? I was like, no, they're not real.
But they look real.
But they look so nice. And so I told them, and it is, they're better than real flowers really, because they last.
They will actually last, yeah.
Yeah. So that was really nice, really cute.
And for you in the US, outside of the UK, if you're worrying that you've missed Mother's Day, you haven't.
No, you have it on a different day.
Yeah.
I don't know when actually. Is it May? Or
I'm
something?
not even sure.
May, June?
But it's later than ours.
Yeah, it's definitely later.
So fear not. You're all right.
You're all good. But yeah, so that was super nice. And then, nothing else has happened really. For me, anyway.
Ah.
But for you...
Oh, yes. So, I taught somebody on Monday, and that was very rewarding. They're not used to using the Mac at all. And we talked about copy, cut, and paste and why it's weird on Mac. And I seem to have found a knack for explaining things to him that he finds useful. So that's really rewarding, because he said that his previous teacher at his last college couldn't explain anything. So I feel like I've got a win there.
Yeah.
I was supposed to meet with a singer on Tuesday, but she came down with an illness again. So this is the third meeting that's broken.
Yeah, it's not working well, is it?
No, but this next one should be fine.
Between the two of you.
Between the two of us. She'll be coming back this coming Tuesday because she has to be down this side of town anyway for something else. So it kind of works out twice.
Mm.
And then yesterday, being Wednesday as we record on Thursday, I met up with somebody that I've known for about 12 years, I think. It's LJ Rich, who used to work on BBC Click. Now she does her own thing. But she used to stream on Periscope, and she used to play piano live on Periscope and take requests.
Is that still a thing, Periscope?
No, it got bought by Twitter and then killed.
Oh, fair enough.
It is no longer a thing. But that's where we heard about her, and I used to have you and me would sit down and watch her for a bit, and she was excellent. And I can't remember how we got in contact, but I think I messaged her and we followed each other and whatever else. And then yesterday we met for the first time because a couple of weeks ago she'd said to me, do you want to come to this piano shop in London called Marks and Pianos? And they've been there since 1910, apparently. And they're a family-run business, and they fix and sell and restore, and I think that kind of thing. Very nice, very high-quality pianos. Very.
That one that you played on that you showed me, it was like a clear... Is it made of plastic?
It's Perspex, yeah.
Perspex, but it's clear. Like grand piano.
Looked amazing, right?
It looked incredible.
Actually,
Yeah.
you know, maybe for the artwork, I should get you to crop that part of the video. Like a freeze frame if you can get one.
We can
show
try,
people.
yeah. Or the next time you go, because I think it'd be really cool to get it
As a picture.
from further back.
Oh, yeah.
So
Instead
you
of
get
right close up.
Yeah, so you get the whole piano.
That's a good
And like
idea.
from the top and everything, because it looks incredible.
It
Just
is.
from the little bit that I could see.
It was amazing to play too. It was a Kawaii piano, it's a Japanese brand. And do you remember how much I told you it cost?
Was it 15,000?
Oh, no. Not even. It was
150?
150,000.
There we go. See, I knew it had a 1.5.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
obviously they only make 3 of them a year, right?
Wow.
And for that price, and you know I make millions. I've bought 12. So I've basically bought out the next 4 years. I'm going to give them to people because it's pocket change for a guy like me.
Oh my gosh.
You know, I'm so rich.
Well, when we were in the lottery,
So yeah,
you can have one.
150 grand worth of piano, and I got to play it and
That
not
is
be
really-
told, no, you mustn't play it. Because I used to go to a piano shop with Dwayne called Rose Morris, right? And they were all covered up. And,
Yeah.
you know, those pianos were only £88,000. I say only, right? And they were all covered up and they didn't really want you to play them. It was a piano showroom and they didn't want you to play the pianos. This
Yeah,
place,
how can you test it out if you like it?
right, this place, unless you were buying, they didn't want you to play. This place was absolutely fine with me playing. And so LJ and I we played and we had so much fun. And because she's got perfect pitch as well, we were able to bounce off each other in some really neat ways.
That's
And
really cool.
it was honestly, yeah, one of the best days I've had out in a very, very, very long time. It was amazing.
Nice.
So I was quite buzzing from that yesterday. And we're going to go back next week to record a little something for Piano Day. Piano Day, by the way, is the 88th day of the year. So that's March
Very cool.
29th.
Yeah.
So
that
we're
is
going to
really cool.
record a little kind of streamy thing for that at Marks and Piano Showroom.
Does it change if it's a leap year?
I suppose it does, the date, yeah, whatever the date falls on. So that's going to be exciting. So next week I've got to take like a goodie bag of audio gear and microphones and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go on the train. I'm going to get her to pick me up again because that worked out really well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, tell them about the rude ladies yesterday when we went to the train station.
Oh. Well, so I walked you down to the station
Yeah.
and we got the attention of the... What was he called? Like a
Station staff at Kilburn.
station staff? Yeah. So this guy. And he was kind of like a little bit flustered because he was also on the phone at the same time dealing with something.
Had I known, I would have just gone. To be honest, I didn't have
Yeah,
to
but
bother
he
him.
said that's not good for them because he kept saying when you said, so he was like, well, what is it that you need? And you
Yeah.
said, well, just some help getting down to the platform, and then
getting up and out the other end.
getting off the other end and stuff, like to make sure that it's okay. And he was just like, oh, and it did seem like he'd never done it before. And maybe he hasn't. I don't know.
It seemed like, I know, because Kilbin is so quiet. Maybe he hasn't.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he just didn't. I don't know. He was just a bit flustered, but it was fine.
Gee.
And at one point when you said, I don't know, you said something like, well, I can just go down by myself. And he was just like, no, that won't work for us. We were
It
like,
was quite
okay.
strange.
And then you explained that it's probably because you'd learnt from somebody else at a different station that it's to do with, like, if there's a fire or something, the train driver needs to know that you're on the train.
Yeah.
So that's why they always put you on the carriage directly behind where the driver sits.
Yeah. It's
which
usually
does
nice and
make
quiet,
sense.
by the way, very empty. Because no
Yeah,
one walks
because it's
down
right
that
at the
far.
top. Yeah, I like getting on at that one. But yeah, and that does make sense, so that was fair enough. And he was like, oh, hold on, whatever. So then he comes back and you're still on this side with me.
Yeah.
He's obviously on the other side. And you went to, like, step forward and I said, oh, hold on, like, because the barrier wasn't open. And he went, oh, yes, you need to use your freedom pass because it's not free, I was like, that it is free because a freedom pass is free.
Yes.
But then he was like, Boris Johnson needs to know how many people have used it and whatever. So we were like, oh, that's fine. So you're then getting it out of your bag. And these two
Rude.
middle-aged women came up behind. And because one of them had a trolley she was pulling, they came up behind and kind of like said, oh, excuse me, to the worker, put her card on, the barriers then opened and she came through. And I sort of moved you out of the way because you were stood right in front of it. And he was like, what, hang on, can you not see that, this gentleman's coming through? And she was just like, no, he's not. No, you're just talking, standing there chatting. And then the second woman just walked through with her, so didn't tap out. So then they start swearing at him, telling him to F off.
Lovely.
And yeah, and they were, definitely middle-aged. And then he was just like, oh, you didn't tap your card either. And they just continue to swear at him and tell him where to go.
No decorum, I tell you.
Absolutely none. And you said something like, I was actually going through, anyway, you then went through and he sort of shouted after them that everything is recorded in the station. And they carried on. So I was behind them and they kept turning around and looking at me. And I thought, well, you can say something if you want. I'm not, going to confront you or anything. But they kept looking to see if I was going to say anything, which I didn't, because what was the point? They just swear at me as well. But yeah, I could hear them all the way down the road still swearing about this guy. Oh, they were just chatting. They were just this. They were just that, But yeah, it was...
Clearly blinder than I. They didn't see the cane. Idiots.
I don't think they cared. I don't think that would have made any difference because as far as they were concerned, you and him were chatting, which you weren't. I mean, you were chatting, but you were also getting your card to tap on. So yeah, it was just the language. It just came so out of nowhere,
Some people rage very quickly.
Oh, they really did.
It's really quite
They were
pathetic,
just like,
honestly.
yeah, so completely aggressive about it. But anyway.
And the other thing I did this week was work more on my NVIDIA Composer. And I've had you involved, haven't I?
Yeah, you've had me testing things for you.
Yes. So last week, I think it was, someone said, can you convert it from just an NVDA only add-on to the web? So I did that. I vibed my way to it. And it's very, very full-featured now. So if you're bringing it up on, say, a mobile phone where you don't have a physical keyboard connected, there's a bespoke custom numpad where you can enter notes and you can save and you can copy and share it. And I'm really pleased with this thing. I've typed very hard on it.
You have.
But it does mean it brings it to the wider world and people outside of the NVIDIA ecosystem can try this thing for themselves. And I'm really, really pleased with how it's looking. And I've had you guys test it. I had Jake test it. Mm-hmm. And you made a little something in the garden yesterday. Didn't save it, but you did.
Well, yeah, because I wasn't...
No.
It was just press random buttons and see what happens.
But it's going to be fun, I'm hoping to start a sort of a weird, nostalgic, monophonic revolution.
Wow.
Just because I'm enjoying working on it. I'm hoping someone will get the kick out of it that I have. And I think I don't know if I mentioned it last week, I may have done, but I found out recently that someone is using that add-on in Latvia to make tones and then sell those tones to people for money.
That, yeah.
Which
that
is really neat.
Cool.
So, if it brings it to more people, gives them some crazy outlet,
Yeah.
To be honest, it's nice if you're like sitting somewhere and you've got a melody in your head, like you're on the train or on the plane or something, as long as you've got Wi-Fi, and you want to sketch a melody without humming it in front of people.
Yeah.
And, you don't maybe have GarageBand or something on your phone. I've tested it on iPhone and Android so far. I'm going to test it on our smart TV because TVs have browsers. And I coded it in such a way that the TV remote should be able to actually access it as well.
It'd be crazy.
So I really, I can't wait to see if that works. So that's been me.
Cool.
Is it quiz time? What you got?
It is quiz time. So last week's quiz question, I don't think we had any answers. I had a little look through the comments and I don't think I saw. But the question was about how many taste buds does the average human tongue have? So roughly.
Yeah. I didn't see any answers for that either.
No. Any ideas?
I can't actually remember.
It's in the thousands.
Oh, okay. Is it like... I'll go for 2,000 then.
10,000.
10,000.
I know. Isn't that weird? There's a lot of things on your tongue.
Small surface area.
They are very tiny.
Isn't that crazy? Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine if you only had 200 then.
Maybe big, maybe? I don't know.
That's wild. And you taste parts of the food with different parts of your tongue as well.
Yeah, I can't remember which way round. The kids and I remember when we were homeschooling during the
It's like bittersweet sour, isn't it? It's different.
Yeah, we did like a thing where we were testing sour and sweet and stuff and seeing which part of the tongue reacted more. I think the tip reacts more to sour.
Mm-hmm.
So if you stick your tongue in a lemon.
Lovely.
I think the tip.
I did that same experiment in school. I can't remember which. It was either chemistry or biology or something. One of them.
Yeah. It's quite a fun thing to look at. So this week's question. Which ancient culture is credited with developing the first toothpaste using crushed ox hooves?
What a weird thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I want to put that in my face.
Well, back then you wouldn't have had much choice.
Apparently not.
Or alternative, I should say.
Okay. I wonder how long ago it was. Well, we'll see.
A long time. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Intriguing.
So moving on to our comments.
Oh, yes. The virtual mailbag.
Yeah, 3 comments. So we have one from Dave.
Hello, Dave.
who said, with reference to the story with the guy who woke up blue.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine waking up and you're a newly coloured Smurf.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
He should have gone on TV.
He said, nice, sorta, to see that different countries, same incompetence and disabilities, about disabilities. Sorry.
Oh, yes. This happens a lot, apparently, this kind of thing.
Yeah.
More than I thought.
And then we've got Marie, who said that this episode made her really angry, not because of us, but because of the absurdity of people.
And that's last episode, because she's not future-proofing. She doesn't know what we've said yet.
And then...
Still listening, aren't you?
We've got Dangeroo, who says, when Kirsten slips up near the end and says...
Oh, yes.
a certain word, she is not pleased. And that is true, because I don't swear very often at all. And honestly, I can't blame you all for being angry. I think the only thing that keep me from asking someone in that position if they're daft is knowing it wouldn't do me any favours on the form and you would likely make things worse. So I'm sorry you had to deal with people like this, Andre. Great podcast.
They can penalise you for just the most minuscule, and they did. Clearly.
Well, yeah, because they would say it's, you're not cooperating.
Yeah.
So...
It's really ridiculous.
Yeah.
Thanks for the comments.
It. Yeah, thanks, guys.
A good amount. A small amount, but a good number of them. So it's all good. So what am I not leaving, and who's not leaving, and how are you not leaving, and why are we not leaving?
Well, we're talking about when we have to go away separately.
Yeah.
We have done a podcast about holidaying separately.
Yes, we did.
And sort of the reasons, but that was quite early on.
Gosh, that was really back in the day.
So we were just talking, I guess, a bit about almost separation anxiety, which sounds really dramatic. Like, separation anxiety tends to be what you expect to hear a toddler has from their, parents, or a dog has from their owner, because, and it's not that, we are in a terrible place if we have to be apart or anything.
No.
But there is always that added anxiety when one of us is not here.
Yeah.
I think. So obviously for me, we know I have anxiety anyway. So when you're not here for a prolonged period of time,
Yeah.
even just overnight, there's always things that just kind of crop up.
Seems to happen more.
Something will happen in the house. So either something will break, some electronic thing, the Wi-Fi, something will happen when you're not here that I have to deal with, and I find that stressful.
I can think of at least a handful of times this has been the case.
Yeah.
One time I was in Wales, and I think there was an argument. It was when we lived in the big building. There was an argument opposite, wasn't there? Got very heated. There was a kid left outside and I wasn't there.
Oh, yeah.
That was one time.
There was that. There was a time when you were away, and I don't know what happened, but suddenly I became aware of like all this shouting and stuff outside, and police officers were chasing this guy, and he ran through our front garden to jump up onto the gate to get into the communal garden, which was a bit crazy. And then the police officer ran to chase him as well. And he was like running around trying to hide or something in the communal garden, which really panicked me because our back garden is right there. I mean, it's just, it's silly things because nothing's going to happen. But in the night, it was quite late at night. Your mind just works overtime, doesn't it? So
yes.
You panic and you worry more, I guess.
And these things do tend to kick off when not around.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Yeah. The internet will do weird things.
Yeah, that too. And sometimes I've contacted you. Can you restart such and such?
Yeah.
Another time I was in Wales, I remember that we had a piece of equipment go bad, and I'd ordered a replacement, but it was coming when I wasn't here. So I told you exactly how to swap the old one out, put the new one in, and everything was then solved. So you did a good job.
Yeah, I don't like doing that stuff though. No, because I think I'm going to ruin things. I think I'm going to break something.
She did, by the way. It's actually still in use to this day. That was probably 10 years ago now. Perfect.
But yeah, and I think because we spend so much time together in the house, like even if we're not physically doing anything, we're not going anywhere, we're not,
It's the knowledge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just being in the presence within the house. I'm pottering around doing what I need to do. I'm in and out and stuff. And you're here.
Mm-hmm.
It is, you just kind of get used to that person being there. I think for a lot of other couples, you've got one or both out at work all day. So when you're kind of used to not seeing that person for a long period of time.
Yeah, I think so.
Whereas
it's not really the case for us, is it?
No.
Because I'm here more than I'm not. So when I'm not, it's sort of surprising to people.
Yeah.
Alice said that yesterday.
Yeah, she came home and I don't think she realised that you were going out. So she came home and she was like, oh, Daddy's not here.
No.
But yeah. What about for you when I'm not here?
Nothing too actually, yeah. Something crazy did happen and I didn't know about it for days, did I? Someone took an entire plant pot out the front garden. As you do.
That was so weird. When we moved in here, I bought these 2 big, heavy plant pots matching, and they were on either side. And they had 2 little bay trees in them. And that I got for my birthday. Might even have been my 30th birthday or something. Anyway, they were really cute outside. And we went on holiday. You stayed here.
Yeah.
Came home and there was only one. Now, there is no way you could pick them up. They are so heavy, and they were full, like quite big,
Of
full
soil.
of earth and a little mini tree. So they would have rolled it away. And it was the weirdest thing. Like
Why do you need a plant pot like that?
Yeah, like it wasn't anything amazing, just a really bog standard, plain looking plant pot. Big and heavy. Which is really, really odd. And just the one. They obviously just rolled the one away.
Didn't come back for the second.
No, they didn't. It was so strange. And the second one is still there. I still have that one.
We should get a first one through. It's feeling sad. Potluck, you know.
Yeah, but I don't know if I can get a matching one because it was just from a random, like, home base or something like that. I'd have to replace the two of them. But that was really odd.
Yeah. Oh,
But,
dear. I'm extra careful when you're not here because although I am anyway, but, you know, there's always the thing of like, what happens if a massive glass smashes? Then I've got to try and get it all.
Yeah.
I do wear slippers around the house these days, so it's less bad, but you still don't want glass everywhere.
No, of course
But,
not. And glass travels when it smashes.
Oh, gosh, it does, yeah.
I mean, we're quite lucky in that our floor in the kitchen is quite soft.
Yes, it is. It's
You know,
also
it's-
rough textured, so it may not travel as far because it's not smooth.
Mm.
If it were an entirely smooth floor, it might be a different story.
Yeah.
But no, touch wood, this hasn't happened to me yet, but I always fear like one day that something like that will happen and I'm like, oh no. The only thing I think that has or sometimes does happen is if I forget what a meal looks like for the week.
That
So
sounds so strange.
Yeah, I know. I'll FaceTime you like, which one is this one?
Yeah.
And you can tell
And
me.
just to make that make sense, that's because I leave meals in the fridge for
Yeah.
you to heat up and stuff.
That's right.
Yeah. So that's okay.
But also, it is actually quite lonely.
Mm.
I remember the last time you guys went away, which was actually now 2 years ago because we went on the cruise last year,
Yeah.
which is crazy to think about. It's been that long.
Mm.
I didn't see anybody for like 3 or 4 days or something. Anyway, it was quite a while. And I just remember like,
Well, you must have seen my sister.
yeah, but there was a
Very
period of time when I
briefly.
didn't.
Yeah.
And I just remember like, I haven't spoken to a single person today at all.
Yeah.
So it is quite lonely. It can be. And I think that's where the separation anxiety comes from. Because
Yeah.
you just miss your people. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And even when I wasn't here, I was away, in fact. I was in Liverpool one day for something, and I was in a hotel overnight, and I think I mentioned this in one podcast before, but I'd done the thing I was supposed to do for the day, like giving a workshop presentation. They dropped me back at the hotel. They go and live their lives. And I had to, go find dinner. But it was a long, long time before the restaurant was open and before anything could happen. And I just had to wait and do nothing. And I was just quite lonely, super lonely. It was very quiet. And I think I remember just like sleeping. There was the radio. I took a radio with me. I remember sleeping and just lying on the bed listening to Radio 4, doing nothing much. And it was just like, I remember sort of thinking to myself, I'm miles from home. I don't really know anybody here. And yeah, it was just quite, I don't know what the word is, I suppose. It was kind of dark. It was in a dark place in my head. I didn't really need to be because I could have phoned people. But I think that took effort. And I don't think I had any. And I just realized actually at that point that I just miss my people.
Oh, I missed most of what you just said because I had to answer the door. But
Catch it in the replay.
I will. I'll re-listen. Which, funnily enough, I don't do very often. I don't listen to our own podcast.
No, I only point you at specific bits.
Yeah, because I still find it really weird listening to myself. I've never liked it. Oh, hello, Penny. Penny's come to join.
Oh,
Yeah, I just don't like listening to myself. So,
even though she's brilliant.
I just find
Especially
it really,
now.
I just find it really cringy. What were we saying? Yes, you missing your people.
Missing my people, yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking about
think-
when I was in the hotel in Liverpool.
Yeah, I remember you called and you were just so sad. And, we're both people that we do like our own space. We don't like a lot of stuff going on around us.
No,
we
not
both
really.
get a bit overstimulated. You know,
Homebodies, you know?
we are homebodies, and I think some people don't understand necessarily. Well, you don't go out, you don't go for dinner, you don't go to places. But I think actually, if we had the choice, we would choose to be at home with nice food, or at home enjoying each other's company, rather than like it is nice to go out every now and then, but we do get overstimulated by there being a lot of people.
Yes. And I was even nervous about yesterday, weirdly, because I go out so infrequently. When I did, I was worried that I would just have an internal freak out. It would never be external. That's not me.
No.
But instead, I had one of the greatest times I've had in a while. So I can still go out. I've still got it.
Of course.
It was honestly amazing. And it was also the company as well. It helped. It was, good fun and But I think partly just because I haven't gigged in a year. Like coming up on April, it'll be a year that I haven't gigged.
It's a long time.
Yeah. And so, if I'm not gigging, I'm not going anywhere, basically is how it pans out, because I don't have anywhere to go. Anybody that I would see is out of London and thus very far away. Anybody that I'm teaching is remote.
Yeah, you're not like going out to socialise.
No.
In that respect.
And certainly as the weather's not been very nice lately, I wouldn't do it anywhere. There's been all the freezing cold and rain and rubbish. But as we perk up a bit and the weather gets nicer, I will do that more if I can.
Yeah.
And I think that this thing's going to turn into more of a meetup in that shop anyway. So I will have to be out more, and that's good for me.
Definitely.
Cannot stay at home all the time. Get cabin fever.
Yeah.
So that's.
But then that means more time apart, which is
a thing.
A good thing. At times.
Yeah. Unless I drag you along, like I keep saying.
You do, yeah. But it is also good to have time apart.
Yeah.
We do spend the majority of our time at home.
Yeah.
Together. Which, that's what we're happy with. That's what we like. But it is good to have some, that whole absence makes the heart grow fonder.
It do. I can definitely say that. Like, I've come back from holiday, like when I went to see Jakob and stuff in Estonia, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's you.
And that's even like we talk at least once a day when you go away.
Yes. I don't feel complete unless I've heard you at least once or texted you, but nice to hear your voice,
Yeah.
One of the few people I actually don't mind talking to on the phone.
I know. That's so funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I've always had that. I don't like talking on the phone, except to a few people. But you definitely haven't always had that.
Nope.
That's been the last few years, because I think we've had conversations where I've tried to explain to you that I don't feel comfortable and you just didn't quite get it. But now I think you absolutely get it.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Truly,
you're definitely a text me first before calling.
Yeah. It's not even don't call me, I'll call you kind of message. Don't call me, text me. It's the best way. I promise it works.
And I think a lot of people don't understand that. I
know.
had something relatively recently, I don't know, sometime last year, where we've gone on a complete tangent. This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but
would it not be our podcast?
We do like to wander off. And they were a new person that I had sort of become friends with, who wanted to speak over the phone instead of messaging, because it's easier to have more of a flow in conversation. And it was really hard for me to say, I just can't do that. Yeah. That's just not something that my anxiety, my brain can deal with. Like, I just can't do it. And I think it was quite upsetting, or certainly off-putting for that person. And I feel like because of that, the friendship has not gone anywhere, which is quite sad. But, that's just how it is. Everybody has their opinions. But
I had this with someone I work with as well. Like I said actually, and she must have missed the message. I said, don't call at the moment, I'm doing something. 5 minutes later, she rang. And I put the phone down because I was doing something. And 10 minutes later, she rang again. Like, the message is clear. Don't ring back straight away. At least wait an hour. But nope. In the end, she got it. But this is the thing. Like, you have to be able to set boundaries. And people have to be able to respect those boundaries.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you tie that into don't leave, but...
Don't leave. But if you do, ring me every day because I like talking to you, but not many other people.
Uh-huh. Okay, that ties.
Yeah.
Or for people that are not us, don't leave if we put the phone down on you. We have a reason.
Exactly.
And I think you know what it is. It's the prevalence of mobile phones. Because you can be reachable anytime, whereas before it was landlines and you were reachable only at home. If you didn't pick up, you weren't home. Now, if you don't pick up, you might not be at home. You might be in Brazil or Argentina or down the pub or at home in the bath.
It's not even just that as well. I mean, that is a big thing. You know, you might not be home, you might not be free, but sometimes it's just because you don't want to talk on the phone.
Yeah.
It is just really overwhelming sometimes having, for me personally.
No, plus one to that.
Because, no. I was going to say the reason why I think I find it difficult is because sometimes I need a minute to formulate what I'm going to say. Sometimes my brain, particularly with my brain fog and like actually being able to get my words out, which you probably notice in this podcast, unless you do a really, really good job of editing that and making it sound like I speak fluently and just, you know.
Well, you'd have to listen to find out, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Nice. But sometimes I need like a few seconds or a minute or whatever to formulate what I'm going to say. And I can't do that if I'm on the phone to somebody. I need to think about it. I need to process it.
Yeah.
And my social anxiety catches up with me. So unless it is you, my sister, my mum, or my best friend, then I don't speak to anybody for any length of time.
Yeah.
Unless I absolutely have to.
That's it. It's the bubble thing. You have your people, you know.
Yeah.
Them's your people.
Them's my people.
And it's okay to have that.
And it doesn't mean that I don't want to talk to other people, but just not on the phone. I'll happily have conversations over WhatsApp or text or whatever. Doesn't mean I don't want to make friends.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't want to speak to them on the phone. That's all it is.
See, and that's you can tie it back. Don't leave friendship behind just because I won't talk to you on the phone.
Exactly.
So don't leave can encompass a lot of different aspects.
Mm-hmm. There we go. We tied it in nicely.
This is how we go. And there was something else I was going to say, actually, unrelated, but you discovered about tension headaches recently, didn't you?
Oh,
which can help sort of, because when you're trying to focus on not hurting, then you're not focusing on speaking.
No, that is true. Yeah, I've had a lot of headaches recently. And I mean, I think that's something that's sort of been there for a while. And I've sort of worked out that they're tension headaches. And there's lots of different reasons that you can have tension headaches. Part of chronic fatigue syndrome, which is what I think I have, tension headaches is quite a big factor in that. And stress and anxiety and things. I don't think I'm particularly stressed, but you know, I think it all sort of ties in and that's just what it is. So yeah, although it's not one of those headaches like a migraine that is all encompassing and you physically cannot do anything. When you have a migraine, it's awful. But the tension headaches, it's like something is squeezing around your head.
Yeah.
And you can function, you can do things and you get on with your day because you have to. But it's not nice constantly feeling like, you know, your brain is trying to pop out of your head.
No.
So yeah, another reason I don't want to talk to people.
Yeah, because the thing is, you might sort of turn the grump mode up to full, up to 11.
Yeah.
And they didn't deserve it.
You're
but
trying to
with
say I'm
text,
grumpy?
you don't have to, because you don't have to sound angry over text.
You missed that. Said, are you trying to say I'm grumpy?
No, not at all. You know where I live, I wouldn't say that.
No, because now people are going to think I actually am grumpy.
She's not.
I don't think I'm grumpy.
She's not. You're the least grumpy person I know, I think. At least mostly.
Yeah. I don't think I'm grumpy.
Nah.
Or if I am grumpy, I know that I'm grumpy and I say, sorry, I'm grumpy. So, yeah.
No, you're good. You're good.
Thank you.
You
You're
cook
not
my
very
dinner.
grumpy.
You're fine.
That is true.
But that's the thing, isn't it? When you're just not in the mood, you're not in the mood, and it's difficult.
It is.
And I know, like, you've called me up, for example, because, see, separation anxiety. You call me up when you're out ranting at the world.
Oh,
just to hear a friendly voice.
Yeah, because sometimes, like, something happens and you want to, like, offload, and you're the person that I offload to.
Yeah.
So, and also because I'm worried that by the time I get home, I'll have forgotten what it was. So I ring you to tell you. Or sometimes if it's really quick, I'll send you a voice note.
Yes.
But
that works too.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, actually. A lot of people forget that voice notes are fine, for me anyway.
For you, yeah, I don't do voice notes. Apart from with you. I don't actually do voice notes to anybody else other than you.
It's funny.
Yeah. I don't like them. But you do. That's fine.
Yeah, I've been typing a lot more since WhatsApp for PC came into my life. But yeah, voice notes are fine. And I'm having to respond that way, to talk that way. And I manage a lot of big groups, and they have a lot of voice notes in them. So, get through them quickly with 2x and everything. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
I think also because my brain runs at kind of high speed, I find it hard to listen to people's normal speaking speed. So if I can 2x you, I can answer your question faster.
So funny.
I know. It's mad.
Yeah.
Foibles, man. Everybody has them.
That is true.
It's like my friend James, right? I've known James since I was 9 years old. So, 30 plus years. And we very rarely, I can't remember the last time we spoke on the phone, but we send messages, voice notes, all the time to each other. So we're in constant communication. And that's absolutely fine for us. We don't need to be on the phone.
Yeah.
He is one of my very best friends, right? I wouldn't change him for the world. But just, we don't phone each other nowadays. Nothing wrong with it.
No, not at all.
And we send
You're
each
still
other links and texts.
maintaining a friendship.
Absolutely. Even though he's like far away in Scotland. I'd love to see him more. That would be really cool. But he's not round the corner.
Yeah.
But with voice notes, you can sort of still be in each other's lives. And with a voice note, you can send it and someone can listen to it when they're free. And that's the thing about phone calls, is it's an immediate knock on the door and then you've got to take it there and then. It's real time. And just like streaming, you don't have to watch your favorite TV show when it's broadcast anymore. And phone calls are kind of similar. With voice messages or texts, you can take them and read them and send them back, even at 3 a.m, and not fear that you're going to wake someone up. And if you do, that's on them, not you. That's what D&D's for.
That is true.
So I like waking up. Actually, I do. I really like waking up to messages from people. I think it's great fun.
Well, I think for you, where your friends are all over the place.
Yeah, all sorts of international time zones.
Yeah, it does make it easier.
Or someone has something exciting to tell me and I can't wait till my hours. And that's absolutely great. I don't mind that. My phone locks, goes quiet. I don't hear it till I hear it.
Yeah.
Didn't have that back in the messenger days. Sometimes, like I'm thinking 2003 and 4 and stuff, people would message you all the way from the US at whatever time. And if your speakers were on or your headphones were near the bed, you'd hear it go off. Not anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't leave because I'm quite crazy.
Maybe that's why we work.
I think we do.
both have these silly little things.
It's one of the many reasons.
Yeah.
So you know what?
Yeah.
What is your plan for next week? Because normally I ask you how your week's been.
My plan? I don't have any plans for next week. Like, interesting plans.
Interesting plans.
The kids have got 1 week left of school and then it's the Easter holidays.
That's come up really quick, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has.
Does that mean I get lamb?
You get lamb.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I get chocolate. Lots of chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody gets lots of chocolate. And hopefully we're going to do some fun things.
Yeah, definitely.
Hopefully the weather will be nice and we can actually...
I'll say the one thing I say every
outside.
podcast. You say it for me. I don't want to say it. Where should we go?
Oh, Westfield.
Yeah.
Sorry.
For what?
I was like, what?
What is it I want?
Well, you always want cookies.
Yeah, no, but the other thing.
Pizza?
Yes.
Pizza Express.
Yes.
We will go to Pizza Express.
That's my plan. It won't be next week. It'll be 2 weeks, wouldn't it? But yeah. I'm going back to the piano showroom next week.
You are, indeed.
That's about it. Oh, and Chloe, Tuesday. But apart from that, quiet week.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Fine then. Is it story time?
It is Stroonge News time.
I like story time.
So, this week I have a story about cannibal jellyfish.
Joy.
So, we are talking about cannibal jellyfish that have invaded the most visited city in Europe, or one of. So these jellyfish have... Oh, sorry. My phone went funny and opened up my WhatsApp instead of my story. So this is in Venice. So you have the canals in Venice. And these cannibalistic jellyfish have made the Italian city their new home, disrupting all the native fish and wreaking havoc on the fishermen's trade. So they're considered one of the 100 most harmful invasive species in the world.
Wow. So
they have like a really long, like Latin style name that I'm not even going to attempt to say because just no. So they are the warty comb jellyfish, nicknamed the sea walnut.
Okay.
And they are known to gobble up their own offspring, hence the cannibalism, and have a transient anus that only shows up during defecation, and then it like absorbs and disappears.
That is so weird.
Yes. So only appears when they need to get rid, and then it goes away.
The case of the disappearing anus.
Yeah.
That's like a Agatha Christie murder mystery.
That's so weird, isn't it?
Very much.
So it's thought that they've crossed the globe and invaded Venice's waters after being accidentally transported in boats' water. So they've kind of like, and ship tanks and things. They've got caught up. And yeah, they're basically just getting caught in the fishermen's nets, so they can't fish properly. They are like eating and taking over all of the fish that would normally be there, and they're just generally not very great.
Not playing nicely with the wildlife.
They're not playing nice.
This is why you can't have nice things. Jellyfish. Very naughty jellyfish.
Yeah. So there we go.
I mean, is it safe to say go back where you came from to jellyfish?
You can try.
Go on then.
Go back where you came from, Mr. Jellyfish. The warty comb jellyfish.
I know, it's a great name, isn't it? You warty comb.
Yeah, I don't know why or sea walnut. That was what it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
What a strange thing.
Very. But then I always think nature in the water is weird. There are all kinds of weird, scary things down there.
I know, right? How many more undiscovered things are there that we don't know about?
So many, because we can't go down.
Yeah. I honestly think that is one of the most fascinating parts of the planet, is the sea.
And terrifying.
Both, yeah. But you know what? There'll be new foods that we have never tried as well.
Maybe.
Marie, if you're listening, you must become a diver and go find new foods at the bottom of the ocean. Yes.
Okay.
I mean, come on. New fresh meat. Let's do it.
Well, fish.
Well, I'm not going to eat sea walnuts, no.
No. We don't eat the jellyfish.
No, I think I'll avoid that. But there you go. Does that mean we're actually allowed to leave now, even though we're telling you not to do that?
Yes. But we're leaving, so not them, so it's fine.
So it's like, do as I say, not as I do. Yeah. Excellent. Well, thank you for listening to us. And don't leave this podcast. Come back next week. Hopefully you will. And if you're on YouTube, please do the thing of the old like, subscribe. And if you like it, hype it as well. It's a silly new thing, but apparently it does help. It's a bit weird. But not as weird as a sea walnut. But, you know, it is what it is. But, what?
Nothing.
What?
No.
Oh dear. You see? She's crazy. But that's why I married her. It's okay. Right. Peace and goodwill and enjoy yourself. And until next time.
Bye.
Oh my gosh. Musician's annoying. I love that. What is that called?
That's Rob D. Clubbed to Death. It was in the Matrix soundtrack.
It's
Arguably one of the best
water.
soundtracks of all time.
That's phenomenal.
Oh, it's
And I
really
have
good.
heard that. Like I know that in my skull, but I don't know why.